All right, well, I think it's time that we moved on with the induction ceremony. And the next thing we want to do, see folks say keep it rolling, is one of the great things about being MC is I get the microphone and I get to do something really neat every now and then. And one of the neatest and probably greatest honors I have tonight is to introduce our outgoing president of Wheelan, Kuya, my friend, believe Master Sergeant retired United States Air Force. He has many titles because this man does a lot of things. But I just call him, you know, my friend, and he's president right at this moment of our organization again. I think he's done it now 4 times. And so at 2 years a pop, that's quite a long time to lead us. And of course, we've been through a lot of things recently, and his leadership has been tremendous. I've stood on the side of the road with him and helped him and watched him work on a tire or a wheel for the Wheelan trailer. I've saw him cook many a meal, and I missed a lot of it, most of it. So I just can't imagine what all this man has done for Wheelan and for our organization and helped us with. And I'm sure in some way he's helped you or worked with you on something special over the years, most of you. So, you know, I have mixed emotions about Lonnie not being our president. I'm excited for our new president. I'm excited for our organization, but I really don't want to blow past this thank you moment for this man. I'd like us to just give him a round of applause. Mr. Lonnie Wheelan.
Thank you, Dan. I think a couple years ago, well, probably more than that now, if I go back in time, probably more like 4 or 6 years ago, we were doing nominations for elections, and Dan Chandler stood up in the middle of the meeting, or not in the middle of the meeting, but in the meeting, and said, you know, it's a position that anyone here, if they're willing to put forth the effort, could do. I'm paraphrasing, not an exact quote. And I told later on it was very true. It's one of those things that it's up to people whether they want to do it, and everyone does what they feel they can do within their span of what their priorities are in life at that point in time. And a lot of people have a lot of different priorities. I picked on our friend Adora Natura because I said, well, hey, you got all this time now that you're retired. But he's also very busy with his grandchildren, which I understand, and so forth. So it's one of those things that we all have competing priorities. So I appreciate the effort that everyone puts in. A lot of volunteer hours. I know I've gotten text back and forth, received text back and forth with regards to the ladies practicing, as Dan mentioned earlier, for the dances. I know a lot of people, a lot of different ladies have been involved with the dancing over the years. Not everyone's able to continue for various reasons. And we're hopeful that as many as possible will continue, because that's what makes our organization better, is to have more involvement. So we appreciate everyone's taking time. I appreciate your time out here this evening. I know there's a lot of people that have conflicting emotions about being out in an organization, a crowd, in an atmosphere that you potentially might have a chance of catching something. Hopefully not. Everyone's been temperature tested, I believe. Thank you, Auntie Bing, wherever you are at now. You were over there, I don't know where you're at now. Yeah, she's still back there, never mind. Okay, so we appreciate everyone, and we appreciate you taking time to come out and join us this evening. In years past, we've had a sold-out crowd of upwards of 200 people for these events. Obviously, we don't have that tonight, but then again, in years past, we haven't had Hurricane Michael and COVID to deal with. So I bring up those two situations because those have made this tenure for our administration rather challenging. We lost the ability to do a lot of our fundraising downtown. We've lost the ability to do some of the many things that we used to do as an organization. We've lost some members because of Hurricane Michael. Some of our members lost homes and houses and family and friends who had ended up moving away or having to deal with home restoration or living in trailers or whatever due to Hurricane Michael. So it's been a challenging time for our community as a whole, and as a subset of our community, the Phil-Am has suffered right along with it. And so we haven't been able to do some of the things that we planned on doing. I was talking with Verley Chandler, currently our vice president, our incoming president, congratulations. Just the other day, I said, or recently, and I said, you know, it's sort of funny what 24 hours, what the difference 24 hours makes, because on the 9th of October 2018, many of us gathered together on the porch of St. Dominic's Parish Hall and had an executive committee meeting. And we heard about this hurricane coming in. It was coming in as 3. We weren't overly worried about it. Said, okay, we'll deal with it, you know. And we had our Halloween, we had our Thanksgiving, we had Christmas. We had things all planned out for the next 5-6 months. Well, less than 24 hours later, the parish hall is in shambles, and a lot of people's lives were turned upside down, and so forth. So, for those who lived through it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You folks coming over from Pensacola, Fort Walton area, you've been through similar probably in years past. So it's not a big surprise. If you didn't have to live through it, then that's great. Hopefully you never do. And of course, with COVID now, a lot of our plans as an organization have been delayed and put on hold and so forth. So we've not been as active in the organization and in the community as we'd normally be, but we're still trying to keep things moving forward. If you'll indulge me, I would like to tell people, give a few mementos of thank you out to some of the various people that have served our organization over the last 2 years as members of the Executive Committee and Board of Directors. So if as I call your name, if you'd come forward, I would appreciate it. I know, like, Dr. Aguila's not here, so her husband, when I call for her, if you'd come up and accept, and we'll get the rest of these out to the people that weren't able to make it this evening at a bit later time. So, thank you. Ms. Janine Cherry. Ms. Janine Cherry. Did I say it right? Yes. Okay, come on up. And unfortunately, these are not in any specific order, so I'm not going to be able to get them out in a specific order, so we'll just go through and get them out. Ms. Grace Burns. Grace is, you guys should probably give Grace another round of applause, because not only has she been our music person, she's been our secretary, and she's stuck with me for multiple administrations, and I'm really appreciative of her having the forbearance and patience to do so. So thank you, Grace.
Thank you, Grace.
Okay. Bing? Bing Wheelan? Can you please?
Iyak na yan. Mag-vlog niyan. Huwag na umiyak, Bing. Iyak na yan.
And for those of you that don't know, Bing was our former president, and she's been very active in the board of directors and in our organization in many capacities. Thank you, Bing.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, Ms. Judith Carty. And Judith's been our treasurer and has done a great job, and we appreciate her efforts. So thank you, Judith. Let's see, Ms. Nanita Curtis.
Smile.
Thank you, Nanita, for all your help, and it's been very beneficial. Mrs. Yvette Hewitt.
Just let them come your way.
Huh?
Just let them come that way.
Oh, let them come up here, okay. Oh, that way you can get pictures. Okay, I'm sorry. My apologies, I'm not trying to mess up the pictures. There's things I'm not very good at, but there you go. And Vic has been a longtime member of the Phil-Am. I don't know that she was one of the founding members, but if not, she's been involved. Cody Herman and his family, and Vic and a lot of other folks have been involved with the Phil-Am for many years. And since I got here 22 years ago, Vic has been a staunch, solid member of the Phil-Am, so we appreciate you. We appreciate you being supporting us so far. Thank you. Okay. Cody Alfred, would you come up for Dr. Orr's, please? Dr. Arguello is a member of our board of directors, and she's unable to join us this evening, and so Cody Alfred is accepting on her behalf, so thank you, Cody Alfred. Ms. Jasmine Farley. Jasmine has been one of our dancers. She's been a PRO, and she's also been very active, as many of you probably recognize her for, thank you, for all the different, a lot of different events that Jasmine has chaired and set up and done a lot of decorating on, so we appreciate it, so thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, Mr. Fred Curtis.
Kuya Fred! Kuya Fred!
No rush. I've got bad knee as well, so luckily I'm not having to use the third leg right now. So, okay, Fred has been involved with the board of directors now for, I'm not sure if this is his third or fourth time, but for a while, and he's been very active, and he's also been one of the people that I can rely on if I call up and say, hey, I need this research or that research. He's been an asset and a reliable member of the organization to help out with that. And the trailer roads, yes. and on the side of the road fixing trailer tires when they shredded, yes. So that was another story for another day. Mr. Ador Natura. And Ador's been also a member of the board of directors for a number of years. He's been involved with various things over the years. He's been supporting the Phil-Am in a lot of different capacities, to include most recently the work on repairing the shed, which is greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
So he's involved with a lot of things. He doesn't like being in front and being in the limelight, but he's here, and we appreciate him and his family for all they've done over the years for the Phil-Am. So thank you.
Go check if there's something inside.
Kogi Barong, Kuya.
Dr. Delar. Dr. Delar. When I was talking about some of the founding individuals and some of the early members of the organization, Doc is one of those, and we appreciate his support over the years. Thank you, Doc.
You gotta be quick.
Before he changes his mind.
Okay, Mr. Dan Chandler. Another member of the board of directors, and another person that I can rely on for almost anything, and when I call him up, ask questions, or is this here, this there, then it's much appreciated. He's always responds, so thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay. Cody Herman Worrell. Come on up, Kuya. Cody Herman is as the founder of this organization. We appreciate him. He's been He's been the rock upon which this organization has been able to stay afloat with, and he's been a strong advocate to keep this organization moving forward over the years, and we really appreciate his consistency and support. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Floyd Sanderson.
Go to Floyd.
Thank you, Floyd. Appreciate your support and everything as board of directors. And Floyd and Dan and Fred, if I remember correctly, were the three musketeers that went through and updated our Constitution and bylaws and presented them. And Floyd had a big part in putting together for us our ballots and our election so that we had a nice, smooth process on that. So it's much appreciated. Thank you very much. And Floyd's also already becoming vice president. Congratulations and thank you. Ms. Cynthia Natura.
Congratulations. To the front.
I forgot you, didn't you, Cynthia? Cynthia and I have a little bit of a different history. We started off back, I got here, like I said earlier, about 22 years ago. We got here in '98, our family did. And Cynthia and her family were some of the first folks we met with PhilAm, and we're active. And in 2000, Cynthia was kind enough to accept the nomination to be vice president when I first was president. And when I deployed, because I was in the military in those days, obviously I'm not now, but that's a different story, Cynthia took over and continued, and so she's been involved with the PhilAm for years. She's been an active supporter in various capacities and on the board of directors, and so we much appreciate you and your continued support. Thank you, Cynthia. And last but not least, it's Burley Chandler. Yeah, you can serve her after we take your picture there, young lady.
Jessica.
Burley served as our vice president for this current administration, as of course everyone knows, and is here to give a recognition this evening. She's being inducted as our president, and I think we have a good, strong young lady here to take on the challenges and to lead our organization forward. So thank you very much. You're doing good, you're doing good. You'll have your chance. Okay. If I missed anybody or forgot anybody, I apologize. I know there's been a lot of people who've done a lot of work for our organization. And I wanted to at least get something for the elected officers, and just a little thank you gift, but because I do appreciate the time and effort. And as Ms. Carty can tell you, I'm probably not the easiest person to work with. Really probably can tell you that as well, but that's a different story. And but that's all. It's all appreciated. So thank you everyone for coming out again this evening. And I'll pass the mic back over to our MC. And thank you for your time this evening.
Yeah, you always turn it off. You need to stay up here, my man. I'm going to help you move these things, yes? But let me just verify and check my notes. But I think what we have right here coming up next is a special presentation by my wife, Burley Chandler, and our incoming vice, Mr. Floyd Sanderson. And if I can get you to come on up, Lonnie. All right.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you, Kuya. That was really sweet of you to do that. I know you were so busy. You know, we bugged you with the, what do you call that, our t-shirts and the program, but you still found time to do that for us. So anyway, again, we appreciate our president for 2 years, Kuya Lonnie Wheelan, and we do have something for him, and I'm gonna read a letter that goes with it. President Mr. Lonnie Wheelan of 2018 and 2019. You can come in close to me, Kuya. It is customary for PhilAm to recognize the outgoing president with a gift. Mr. Lonnie Wheelan has been much more than the president of PhilAm and for much longer than the last two years. Mr. Wheelan has served as our president 4 times. His commitment to our members has been tireless and welcome for many years. Giving him a plaque or a gavel or a proclamation cast in stone seems not to capture the essence of the man, his leadership, and his caring for the members. His long and lasting contributions to PhilAm need to be recognized with something that will live on. On behalf of our members, we have made a donation from PhilAm to Judith Hamner Endowed Scholarship in the amount of $300 in the name of Mr. Lonnie Wheelan. The benefit will help provide a deserving Filipino American with an educational boost of a scholarship to a college here in Bay County. And you see, Mr. Wheelan, Kuya Lonnie, it's hard for me to say, I don't see the Kuya, so Kuya Lonnie, when your efforts on our behalf will continue into the future, we, the members of PhilAm, thank you for all you have done and you will continue to do for the Filipino Americans of our community. Thank you, Mr. Lonnie Wheelan. And with all that hard work you did, you deserve a PhilAm flag.
Well, thank you, and we'll. Oh, okay. Now finish it. Okay. Well, before we go, let me interject here for a moment. Really mentioned the Judith Wilhot Hamner Endowed Scholarship Fund. That's something that, for those of you that knew Judith, she passed away recently. But one of the things that she and her husband Joe chose to do was to put together a scholarship fund specifically to be administered. I don't say administered, that's the wrong term. Be selected and presented by the PhilAm of Bay County and to a member of the PhilAm of Bay County who is, as Verly said, Filipino or Filipino American. And the scholarship is a partial scholarship at this point in time. I spoke with Mr. Hamner the other day, and they're working very hard to continue raising funds for that so that it can be a full scholarship. So if anybody is looking for a place to donate money to in a charitable way that's going to help our community, both Bay County and the PhilAm, then that is an opportunity to utilize that vehicle there to help our community and our young folks. And there's not an age limit on it, so if one of our members who is a little bit older is going back to school and wants to apply, then they're fully welcome to do so. It's not got an age limit on it. But it is, as Verly mentioned, limited to Gulf Coast Community College and FSU Panama City. So we're going to be making a presentation, if I may steal a little bit of your thunder, on the 23rd of this month, which is the next PhilAm membership meeting. we're going to be making a presentation for the scholarship, the first presentation of the scholarship award to a member of the Phil-Am at that event. So if you can make it, please come over and join us for that event. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuya.
Gulf Coast State College Foundation has received a donation in behalf of the name of Mr. Wheelan, and they sent a letter acknowledging that. And this letter is to Mr. Wheelan from Miss Margie Mazer, who is the Executive Director of the Gulf Coast State College Foundation. I'd like to take a chance to read the letter that she sent to our president for his donation on behalf of Phil-Am. On behalf of the Gulf Coast State College Foundation, we thank you for your generous donation of $300 to the Judith Bahat Hamner Endowed Scholarship for Filipino Americans. This donation is given by the Filipino American Association in your name in recognition for your tireless efforts for the members of the association over many years, and particularly the last 2 years as president. It is our understanding that you have provided leadership for the Filipino American Association for many years and have been a significant figure in setting the tone and character that reflects the best qualities of Phil-Am. The members of the Filipino American Association Bay County thought it most fitting to recognize your commitment to the association during the last 2 years as president by donating to the Judith Hamner Endowed Scholarship in your name. This donation will help Filipinos to get an education and encouraging their membership in Phil-Am. We hope your contribution will encourage others to consider donating to the endowment, thereby advancing the education of Filipino Americans in our community. On behalf of the Gulf Coast College Foundation and the Filipino American Association of Bay County, we thank you for not only your donation, but your commitment to the Filipino community at large. Signed, Margie Mazer. And here's both of those letters for you to keep. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and for all the members involved on this, and again, appreciate it very much. It's a great honor, and I'm humbled, and I've appreciated the opportunity and the faith that individually and collectively has been placed in me to continue in the role of president in the past, and the support I've received from people and members to support the organization and to help the organization grow and flourish over the past number of years. It's not a one individual operation. As I said, it's not my organization, it's our organization, and thank you for allowing me to serve. Thank you very much. And thank you, Burley. Thank you, Floyd, for your presentation.
Mr. President. Okay, where is my MC, the master of the ceremony?